The film opens in 1978, introducing a woman who perceives a puppet as her husband, locking it in a coffin. Her young son, named Sima Kong, appears alongside her. During Sima Kong's early childhood, his father embarked on an expedition with his research team to an underground world in search of something valuable. However, he never returned from this mission. Believing her husband to be dead, the woman symbolically buried him using the puppet. The scene shifts from here to 22 years later, where Sima Kong has grown up. He and his bodyguard are in a cave, searching for a precious pearl. However, Sima Kong did not come here of his own accord. He was forcibly sent by a dangerous man named Xiang, who had kidnapped Sima Kong's girlfriend Lisa and made her his captive. Xiang had made a deal with Sima Kong. If Sima Kong brought him the pearl, Xiang would release Lisa. The bodyguard accompanying Sima Kong was also sent by Xiang to ensure that Sima Kong did not escape, and completed the mission. The guard had a camera mounted on his head, allowing Xiang to monitor everything remotely. Sima Kong found the cave to be increasingly dangerous, so he hesitated and stopped. However, the guard, under Xiang's orders, forced him to continue moving forward. As they proceeded, Sima Kong noticed inscriptions on the cave wall. When he touched the marked spot, the ground beneath them suddenly started to descend. Both Sima Kong and the guard, standing on the unstable ground, were swiftly carried down into the depths below. As they descended, Sima Kong noticed a coffin in the chamber they had entered. Curious, he approached the coffin and saw inscriptions on it. However, the text was in an ancient language he could not understand. He called over Lisa, who was well versed in various languages and scripts. Thanks to her extensive knowledge of languages, Lisa was able to decipher the ancient text and provide this crucial information. As soon as Sima Kong and the guard opened the coffin, a monstrous spider emerged. This creature, though a spider, was enormous and looked incredibly dangerous. Around its neck hung the precious pearl they sought. Immediately upon its release, the spider monster attacked Sima Kong. The creature leaped at him, forcing Sima Kong to react quickly. Armed with a pointed rod, Sima Kong fought valiantly, striking at the beast repeatedly and trying to hold his ground. The bodyguard, seeing the dire situation, began shooting at the creature wildly. This only served to infuriate the spider monster further. Using its immense strength, the monster spun a web, ensnaring the guard. The creature then devoured the guard, killing him instantly. The spider monster then turned its attention back to Sima Kong, hurling debris at him. However, in this moment of chaos, Sima Kong realized how he could defeat the creature. Gripping his rod tightly, he waited for the spider monster to attack again. As the monster lunged, Sima Kong struck its head with his pointed rod. Suddenly, a human body emerged from within the spider, appearing grotesque and terrifying. This new form attacked Sima Kong once more, with both the spider's legs and the human body attempting to capture him. In a desperate maneuver, Sima Kong leaped onto the wall and drove his rod deep into the spider's head, ultimately killing it. With the spider's death, the human form also disintegrated, leaving Sima Kong victorious and the pearl within his grasp. As soon as he kills the spider monster, Sima Kong retrieves the pearl from its neck, the very object he had been sent to find. He returns and hands the pearl to Xiang. Xiang then reveals to Sima Kong that this pearl is the key to a legendary place known as Golden Spider City. This city is unique because it holds the secrets to extending life indefinitely and curing any disease. Xiang, suffering from cancer, had been desperate to find Golden Spider City to heal himself. Now, with the pearl in his possession, he believes he can access the city's miraculous powers. Xiang shows Sima Kong a coffin and explains that he had found it by the sea a few days ago. As they were conversing, the coffin seemed to have a life of its own. Suddenly, the dead body inside it, wrapped in a white cloth, begins to stir. Xiang then tells Sima Kong that he must be the one to venture to Golden Spider City. When Sima Kong refuses, Xiang's guard threatens him with a gun, forcing Sima Kong to comply with their dangerous plans. In response, Sima Kong also raises a gun towards Xiang. Xiang tries to calm the situation by urging Sima Kong to reconsider, emphasizing the importance of the mission not only for Xiang's own needs, but also as a chance for Sima Kong to find his missing father, who had disappeared on a previous expedition, reminding him of the unresolved mystery of his father's fate. Despite Xiang's reasoning and the guard's threats, Sima Kong, driven by anger and disbelief, firmly refuses to undertake the journey. Then suddenly, the dead body from the coffin fell to the ground. The sound startled everyone, causing them to turn around in fear. Taking advantage of the distraction, Sima Kong grabbed Lisa's hand, brandished a gun at the others, and fled the scene. However, a piece of the white cloth covering the corpse got caught on Sima Kong's pants. As Sima Kong ran away, the dead body, still partially covered, was inadvertently dragged along and ended up at his home. Terrified by the bizarre situation, Sima Kong immediately went to a police officer and explained everything. When the officer accompanied Sima Kong back to his house to investigate, they were shocked to find no sign of the corpse. Instead, they saw a young boy and Lisa sitting there. It turned out that Lisa had removed the cloth from the body, revealing the boy inside, who was now sitting calmly. Convinced by her explanation, the officer left. The man, now seeing pictures of Sima Kong and his mother around the house, was visibly moved. He began examining the photos closely and then, with a sense of recognition, told Sima Kong that he was his father, and remembered everything now, affirming that Sima Kong was his son. Hearing this, Sima Kong became furious. He started chasing the man around the house, throwing objects and hitting him, insisting that his father was dead and accusing the man of lying. Sima Kong's anger and disbelief were evident as he vehemently rejected the possibility that the man could be his long-lost father. During their conversation, Lisa suddenly fell unconscious. When Sima Kong and Sima Hui checked on her, they discovered that Xiang had given her a poisonous substance while she was in his custody. Both Sima Kong and his father were extremely worried because if Lisa did not receive the antidote within 7 days, she would die. Realizing the urgency of the situation, Sima Kong decided to go to Golden Spider City to save Lisa's life, knowing that this was Xiang's plan all along. Sima Hui revealed that he knew the way to Golden Spider City and offered to guide them there. They all boarded a ship, heading towards the underground world where the city was located. During the journey, Lisa asked Sima Hui how he ended up trapped in the coffin. As Sima Hui shared his story with Lisa, Sima Kong joined them, but remained skeptical. In anger, he questioned his father, doubting his story and accusing him of lying. Sima Hui insisted he was telling the truth, explaining that his experiences in Golden Spider City were real and not a fabrication. Then dark clouds appeared, causing them to worry, but He arrived at a specific location and jumped out one by one. Sima Kong and Lisa had reached the underground world, but Sima Hui got stuck because his bag was caught in a tree, leaving him lying there. Sima Kong noticed a snake near Sima Hui and alerted him. In his panic, Sima Hui fell to the ground, rejoining Sima and Lisa. Before they could proceed, a group of people surrounded them, perceiving them as a threat and pointing their weapons at them. Recognizing the markings on their bodies, Sima Hui realized these were members of an ancient tribe linked to the king who had died 1,000 years ago. Just as the tribe was about to attack, Lisa appeared, brandishing a gun, which scared them off. As they moved forward, Sima Hui's leg got entangled in the roots of an ancient, massive tree. Black smoke began to emanate from the spot, indicating the tree's age and mystical nature. Nearby, they found an entrance resembling a large cave. Inside, Sima Hui discovered a path leading downward and urged the others to follow him. They descended into a vast cavern where inscriptions covered the walls. Lisa deciphered a line on the wall, revealing that the path ahead led to Golden Spider City. She explained that anyone who entered Golden Spider City could never return due to the numerous spider monsters that inhabited it, led by a giant spider monster. The three of them consumed capsules to protect their bodies from the harmful effects of the underground environment, ensuring their survival. As they moved further, they encountered a door. Upon opening it, they discovered what appeared to be a statue. Lisa explained that this was not merely a statue, but a door. She instructed Sima Kong to touch its chest to open the way. Following her advice, Sima Kong touched the statue's chest, and the door indeed opened, allowing them to enter. Inside, they marveled at the splendor of the place, and the people were also following them. Another door soon blocked their path. Sima Kong placed the pearl in the designated spot, and the door opened, revealing a chamber filled with numerous graves. Approaching a grave with a face carved into it, Sima Hui suggested they should place the blood into its mouth to open the door to Golden Spider City. However, Sima Kong, skeptical of this method, instead poured a regular liquid into the mouth. They waited, but nothing happened. Intrigued, Lisa read an inscription indicating there should be 10 statues, but only 9 were present, implying the 10th was hidden. Sima Kong used a scanner to locate the missing statue, finding it above them. Then a coffin emerged. Removing the cover, they discovered an entrance to an extensive and ominous cave system that extended deep underground. Suddenly, they noticed a spider approaching them with alarming speed. This spider's size grew as it neared, its skin green and covered in sharp thorns. It moved so fast that within seconds, it was repeatedly attacking Sima Kong, Lisa, and Sima Hui. Despite their efforts, Sima Kong's attempts to fend off the spider with a rod were futile, as the creature seemed impervious to his attacks. Seeing the dire situation, Sima Hui joined in to help. Together, they managed to push the rod deeper into the spider and pull its legs, ultimately killing it. However, their relief was short-lived as a swarm of even larger spiders descended upon them, ready to attack. Terrified, the trio tried to escape, but the sheer number and size of the spiders quickly surrounded them, blocking their path. Just as the spiders were about to strike, Jiang's team arrived, shooting blindly at the spiders. Some of the spiders were killed by the gunfire, but many continued to leap and attack the guards, causing significant casualties. Amidst the chaos, Jiang arrived and was shocked to see Sima Hui alive. Recognizing him as Sima Kong's father, Xiang was astonished by the apparent proof of extended life and regeneration offered by Golden Spider City. Desperate to save Lisa, Sima Kong demanded the antidote for the poison Xiang had given her. Xiang refused, setting a condition: he would only provide the antidote if they revealed the way to Golden Spider City. Sima Hui, attempting to protect his son and Lisa, deliberately misled Xiang by giving him false directions. Afterwards, Xiang and his guard began heading in the direction given by Sima Hui. Seizing this opportunity, Sima Kong, Lisa, and Sima Hui jumped into the coffin cave. Before they left, Sima Kong managed to obtain the antidote from Xiang's pocket using a magic rope. By the time Xiang realized what had happened, it was too late, as the coffin door had already closed. As the trio descended deeper into the cave, they got stuck at one point. Sima Hui insisted that they should not stop there and urged them to continue further down. However, Sima Kong, fearing for their safety, argued against it. Ignoring his son's concerns, Sima Hui jumped down into the water below. Sima Kong and Lisa had no choice but to follow him, plunging into a circular waterfall that led them into a vast river. Emerging from the river, they found themselves in a different world. As they traversed the jungle, Sima Hui inquired about Sima Kong's mother, asking if she was all right. Angered, Sima Kong expressed his resentment towards his father for abandoning them for 22 years, declaring that he would never accept him and threatening to kill him if he tried to force his way back into their lives. Sima Hui was deeply hurt by his son's words. Continuing their journey, they arrived at a peculiar area filled with large mushroom-like trees. There, Sima Hui noticed a strange plant dragging a corpse wrapped in a white cloth and covered in webs. He leaped to grab the corpse while Sima Kong used a knife to cut the plant. Upon unwrapping the cloth, Sima Hui began to cry. Recognizing the body as that of their professor, there were numerous corpses covered in spider webs in the area. The strange snake-like plants were dragging all the corpses into the ground. Sima Hui started explaining about the plants and how quickly they grow. Amidst this scene, Xiang and his guards arrive, capturing Sima Kong, Lisa, and Sima Hui at gunpoint and making them prisoners. Just as they were about to kill them, the dangerous plants launched an attack from above. These plants had branches resembling snakes, which began picking up and killing the guards. It was as if the plants were alive. Amidst the chaos of the attack, one of Jiang's guards engaged in a fierce battle with Lisa, nearly overpowering her. Just as the guard was about to deliver a fatal blow, one of the strange snake-like plants intervened. However, the aggressive plants, seemingly sentient, turned on them as well. Amid this struggle, Sima Hui rushed to their aid, managing to free Sima Kong and Lisa from their entanglement. The confusion provided the perfect cover for Xiang. Taking advantage of the disarray, Jiang's men overpowered Sima Hui and took him prisoner, further complicating the dire situation for Sima Kong and Lisa. After the chaotic events, Lisa began to make her way back. Sima Kong, noticing her departure, questioned where she was going. Lisa calmly explained that they needed to return to save Sima Hui. This statement caused Sima Kong to protest vehemently, insisting that Sima Hui was not his father. Despite his objections, Lisa persisted, explaining to Sima Kong that the only reason they were still alive was because Sima Hui had risked his life for them, indicating that he was indeed Sima Kong's father. Sima Kong remained skeptical, his mind clouded with doubt. However, a memory surfaced. He recalled a diary he had found earlier. The diary detailed an expedition to Golden Spider City in 1978 led by a group of scientists. The entries described an attack by a colossal monster. This revelation made Sima Kong pause and reconsider the possibility that Sima Hui was indeed his father. The consistent accounts in the diary and the extraordinary circumstances of their encounter began to align, slowly chipping away at Sima Kong's disbelief and filling him with a sense of reluctant recognition. Meanwhile, Xiang and his men finally reached the fabled Golden Spider City. Their faces lit up with joy and triumph at the sight of the legendary city they had long sought after. Overcome with excitement, Xiang immediately confronted Sima Hui, demanding to know the secret of his survival and youthful appearance. Despite the intense pressure, Sima Hui refused to divulge any information. Enraged by Sima Hui's defiance, he began to brutally beat him, attempting to force the truth out of him. Amid this brutal assault, Sima Kong arrived at the scene. Seeing his father being beaten, he was filled with a surge of protective fury. The two adversaries engaged in a fierce struggle, each fighting with everything they had left. Sima Kong, driven by a surge of adrenaline and determination, managed to momentarily overpower Xiang, giving him the chance to pull his father, Sima Hui, to safety. However, Xiang was not easily defeated. Summoning his remaining strength and fueled by a burning desire for vengeance, he lunged at Sima Kong. In a desperate and final move, Xiang wrapped his hands around Sima Kong's neck, using all his might to strangle him. Sima Kong struggled against Jiang's grip, feeling his breath being cut off as he fought to break free. The scene was intense and filled with raw emotion, as Jiang's attempt to end Sima Kong's life became a test of endurance and willpower for both men. As Sima Kong was on the brink of death, his vision began to blur, and his strength waned under Xiang's relentless grip. Just then, Lisa arrived at the scene. Despite Sima Kong's desperate calls for help, she initially ignored him, seemingly detached from the dire situation. Her indifference added to the tension and desperation of the moment. However, Sima Hui, seeing his son in mortal danger, mustered every ounce of his remaining strength and launched a fierce attack on Xiang. The sudden onslaught caught Xiang off guard, forcing him to release Sima Kong and defend himself. Sima Hui's courageous intervention ultimately saved Sima Kong's life. This dramatic turn of events profoundly impacted Sima Kong, leading him to finally accept Sima Hui as his father, recognizing the undeniable bond and the sacrifices his father had made for him. Lisa, still reeling from the intense confrontation, stumbled upon a mysterious machine embedded within the ancient ruins of Golden Spider City. Driven by a sense of urgency and reverence, she activated the machine and began to pray. The machine whirred to life, and a 3D holographic video was projected before Sima Kong and Sima Hui, enveloping them in its vivid and immersive display. The video revealed a catastrophic event. An alien spaceship had collided with Golden Spider City, causing both the city and the spaceship to be transported to their current subterranean location. The footage showed other alien spaceships crashing in different areas around the world, indicating a widespread disaster. This revelation provided a critical context to the mysteries and dangers they had been facing, underscoring the immense scale of the calamity that had befallen Golden Spider City. As the video played, the familiar and terrifying form of the giant spider monster emerged once again. Lisa, seemingly in a trance, knelt before the creature and continued her prayers. This bizarre act puzzled Sima Kong, until he noticed the intricate markings on Lisa's body, which matched those of the ancient tribe members they had encountered earlier. A sudden realization struck him. Lisa had been deceiving them all along. She was not a friend, but a betrayer, deeply allied with the ancient tribe and the mysterious forces governing Golden Spider City. The giant spider monster attacked Lisa but left her alive. Xiang, regaining consciousness, was also attacked by the spider monster and became entangled in its web, ultimately being devoured. In the ensuing chaos, Sima Kong and Sima Hui were separated. The spider monster then attacked Sima Hui. Using a rope with a knife, Sima Hui managed to trap the monster temporarily. As Sima Kong approached the trap, the spider monster followed, getting violently struck by the alien spaceship and causing an explosion that destroyed the ship. Realizing the impending danger, Sima Hua locked Sima Kong in a coffin for protection and handed him a picture asking about his mother. Sima Kong explained that after Sima Hui's presumed death, they had searched for him but eventually gave up. His mother had buried a doll in a coffin, thinking he was dead, and later she also passed away. Deeply saddened, Sima Hui gave Sima Kong a golden whistle to trigger the coffin's flight mechanism, sending him to safety. As the spider monster attacked and killed Sima Hui, a massive explosion ensued, killing the monster as well. In the final scene of the movie, it shifts to a group on a ship playing a game. They noticed a coffin floating in the water and brought it aboard. Upon opening the coffin, they found Sima Kong inside unharmed. When Sima Kong asked what year it was, they informed him that it was 2010. Like his father, Sima Kong had been preserved in the coffin without aging. The movie concludes as Sima Kong is staring at the water. One of the men who pulled him out of the water approached and asked how he was doing. He then gave him water and reassured him that life would go on.